Good evening, viewers. This is Revealing Light Tarot. I'm back from my busy day, and it's evening here in Australia, which means I think it might be morning or daytime in America and other places around the world. We've all been really glued to our screens, haven't we, on this whole Kavanaugh debacle. What's particularly worrying me now is the FBI probe. We don't know what's in it, but I have seen reports that it's been so severely restricted by the White House it's not showing anything at all. That led me to do a little bit of research on what would happen if Kavanaugh was... the Kavanaugh nomination was approved based on an incomplete FBI probe. And should the Democrats take control of the House and the Senate after the midterms, both an incomplete FBI probe or FBI background check, which didn't interview key witnesses, in other words, which had its scope restricted in that way by the White House, combined with the perjury, the potential perjury Kavanaugh that, that witnesses are saying that Kavanaugh has committed, would be enough to open up a judicial impeachment. So as we move into the Senate vote, I'm going to do two things tonight. I want to know what's behind the FBI background check. What were the forces on it? What can we expect from the report? And secondly, I'll open the cards up to look at those senators, be they Republican or Democrat, that are likely to be swing voters, and we'll see what's on their mind. So I've got lots of readings in front of me. I particularly wanted to get to Orrin Hatch's brief to the Supreme Court, but I think that's kind of tied up in these secrets and ulterior motives that are coming forward around the Kavanaugh nomination anyway. Another thing that is that I'd like to read on too is the Cold War between China and the USA and what's happening in the South China Seas at the moment, which of course is around our area in Australia as well. So. But first, let's get to Kavanaugh, because I know that's uppermost in people's minds. It's certainly uppermost in mine at the moment. So we want to know, we want to look more closely at the FBI background check, what forces were on it, and then we want to look at those swinging senators that might likely be voting yes or no. So they're deciding which way they're going. So first of all, the FBI probe. I'll just open up. What do we need? Yeah, see, I'm still getting, and this is the image that came in the cards this morning and one that I got just before I even opened up to this reading. I just see someone nailing things, like almost like a nail in the coffin. Sorry for that metaphor, but it's almost like whatever's going on with the FBI background check may appear on the surface to be one way, but it's actually I don't know how to describe it. Let me see if I can get some more information. Is the FBI background check almost like a setup? If they've got their hands tied, what do we need to know? There's partisan, what I'm getting is there's been partisan interference with that FBI background check. I think that's pretty obvious now. And if the FBI hands are tied, that's not necessarily going to be a bad thing in the long run, because remember what came through in our other readings was the rule of law. The rule of law will very much be upheld. So, one way or another. So with that, let's just have a look. What do we need to know about that FBI background check? What forces were brought to bear on it? What's it likely to contain? FBI background check on Kavanaugh. And because it's a background check, not an investigation, so I kind of get that the hands may have been tied to a greater degree. Do we need to know about the FBI? Why didn't they interview key witnesses? Yeah, I'm not sure of the legalities here. This was a White House instructed background check on top of, so I guess that's something we need to bear in mind. What freedom did they have to go outside the White House's parameters? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I've got the victory card in the background. So it seems to me, what did we need to know about the FBI probe? It seems to me it was set up. It was set up to provide a victory of some degree, or its parameters were put there in order to gain victory. Okay, so that's in the past. There's celebration in the future. Now that's like support and you know, I guess circles of support. Okay, so what I'm seeing is that the Republicans actually have kind of, it's all been a setup. Like they've actually joined together to try and get this predetermined outcome. And that's all happening in the present. So they've joined together in this network. They've brought it all to bear in order to get victory for the Kavanaugh nomination. Okay, but in relation to the FBI probe, we're getting the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is like weighing up multiple options. So it could be that the FBI report is inconclusive, and that there will be multiple options that could be presented. You know, the report will hand it back to the senators and say, we could not verify this because of that, and that there will be multiple choices then in front of senators. And of course, you know, later on down the track, that's the FBI report you're having when you don't have an FBI report. So the Emperor is Trump trying to get his victory by setting these tight parameters on the FBI probe. And the King of Wands around circles of support. Now that's interesting, because that could actually be, because I get that image of, you know, the nails going in the coffin. And that means that there's some sort of working hard again to for the longer term to end something. So the King of Wands, yeah, okay. I think that I still think that's the FBI. I really do. I mean, it's the parent, the card of the understanding, patient, benign parent. That doesn't seem to be any of the partisan Republicans that we're currently seeing trying to push the nomination forward. This would be either the Democrats or FBI. Okay, so they're keeping they're monitoring this. They're staying on it. While it's you know, this could even be the circles of support that are surrounding this whole I guess opposition to having Kavanaugh elected. I mean, we've seen law professors, we've seen the Council of Churches or you know, peak bodies coming out, you know, in great numbers saying do not approve this nomination. It's interesting. So circles of support are coming forward to push the nomination through almost I won't say dishonestly, but through ulterior motives there, and then circles of support are coming through on the opposite side as well. And the Page of Wands in the future, because these choices, balancing multiple options, this is all coming through these cards. The Page of Wands is very much considering ideas, considering new ideas. Okay, so if we've got the Two of Pentacles, considering multiple choices and weighing multiple options, and then we've got new ideas coming forward, it would appear to me that this support's going to be a little bit open. It's going to throw it back in some way back to the senators. It's going to be fairly transparent in its scope. In other words, within the scope of this background check that we were instructed to cover, which included we can only concur due to this scope. So it's almost going to throw it back to the Senate, and in mirroring this victory and Trump trying to get this victory, we've got the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is perseverance. So they really were persevering. They are persevering, trying to get this nomination through, and the FBI probe, of course, is all part of that. That perseverance there. The Magician. That's interesting. Look, I'm reading this as I am reading this as both, really, both the tricksters and the smoke screens and the coming from Trump and the Republicans to try and push this through, but also meeting that are the efforts, I guess, of the Democrats and others who are trying to stall this nomination. So it's kind of coming back, it would seem to me. Okay. All right, that's nice, a nice card. So the Five of Pentacles is being left out in the cold. So the FBI's probe and the parameters put around it will throw up some choices, multiple choices. It will be reasonably open. It won't be conclusive. It is only a background check. It will say we've operated within these parameters that have been set by the White House. It will create... it will give people an idea of where to go next, in other words, back to the senators. And in some way, it's going to leave somebody out in the cold. Because, as I said, this Five of Pentacles is isolation and financial loss as well. Now, who stands to lose from all of this? It will be the Republican agenda as it relates to money. Financial loss and isolation. Who's going to be isolated? Okay, it will be... it looks like it will be Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh will be isolated. As an indirect, I guess. So the FBI probe, while it may be the FBI probe, the FBI background check, while it may be being panned and slammed, and people will be tending to blame the FBI. They've been working within the parameters, but somehow that report will throw it back to the senators and leave it open. So it will be fairly forthright. I'm getting the idea that it will be fairly deliberate in what it says about the scope of the background check and how limited that then was. I'm not seeing collusion between Donald Trump and the FBI on this. I'm not. Well, let's ask that question: is there collusion between Donald Trump and the FBI? Yeah, I'm getting the word no. Okay, that came through fairly strongly just then. but let's see what the card has to say. The Queen of Wands. Okay, confidence, mastery, self-assurance. No, the FBI is confident in its position. It's not a slave to Donald Trump or Donald Trump's interests. It is its own it's its own lawful body, and it's very confident and self-assured in that. Not much is going to touch that. So it seems that the background check will make it clear that the scope that it had, that would then could be used in any future impeachment process of Kavanaugh, if indeed Kavanaugh's pushed through under a dodgy process. And when control goes back to the Democrats in the future, then that is grounds. That and the perjury are grounds for a judicial impeachment. So, having said that, on the probe, it seems like there might be. Okay, I've got to, have a look at the cards that I'm getting. Seems like the FBI is not a servant of Donald Trump's nor the White House. So let's see what the report actually says, or whether there's a method in what they're doing for the future, for the longer term. And now let's just look at the senators who are likely to be swing votes, and that's on the Republican side, Flake, Murkowski and Collins. And there is some doubt around Joe Manchin, is it? Who's a Democrat in a red state, a red state that might swing against him in the midterms. So what are those swing Republicans who have also been meeting together? How are they likely to go? They put their foot down on the FBI supposed, well, it's not an investigation, the FBI background check, and of course that's likely to be inconclusive because it doesn't make an indicative finding. It's not an investigation, it's background check. They've had that. It's come up short. It will come up short. That's putting it back to them. It's putting it back to the partisans. That's what I'm hearing. It's putting it back to the partisans, the senators. Flake. All right. Flake, Murkowski, Collins, Manchin. Okay. How are they feeling at the moment? Where are they likely to go? Okay. All right, let's have a look. Okay, the Seven of Pentacles. Again, this same card that I've seen time and time again, where there's working hard to leave a body of work, to leave this kind of legacy. I get this a lot. I've had this a lot in the last few readings, and it's almost like delayed success and waiting for results, but it's working hard to delay, and therefore results are delayed because of that hard work. Okay, that's kind of telling me that they're feeling that this nomination shouldn't go through. Okay, so delayed success, waiting for results, and that hard work that's going in. Let's see what else we've got here. The Two of Rods. The Two of Rods, again, waiting for results, making choices. Waiting for results and making choices. They're waiting for the FBI and then they're having to make choices. That fits with the last reading where the FBI report throws it back to the senators and allows them multiple choices in some way. Aha, okay, so the Four of Cups is talking about apathy and feeling unfulfilled. So it's almost like that they're going to vote no. They're going to withdraw their support for the nomination and leave the situation, of course, something's being taken away. So what would the atmosphere be like after that no vote? It's not going to be good. So look, they've been working hard behind the scenes. They're very concerned about the legacies that they're leaving going forward. There are multiple choices they're considering at the moment. The choices that they make will leave something unfulfilled. It will take something away. Okay, the High Priestess. Well, that is about, secrets being uncovered and, kind of the unconscious stuff. So the stuff that is already known about the Kavanaugh, right? His behaviour, his perjury, his past is coming to bear on this hard work. That they don't want to leave the legacy. I don't think they don't want to leave a legacy of Kavanaugh being elevated to the highest court in the land with so much surrounding his nomination process in the negative. It's just they're really, really concerned about that. So the considering of choices, and again, this comes back to legacies. It's the 10 of Cups, and this is I guess this is supporting, building for the future. So it's mirroring the Two of Rods, and the Two of Rods is waiting for results and making choices. Okay, they're all in this together. Okay, you may see them supporting one another. They may be meeting and deciding upon their strategies. They may be going at this like sort of almost a team of support. So it'll be really interesting to see what's coming. Here is, something being taken away. Something is in suspension. The reading that I did, before any of this came out showed this in relation to Kavanaugh. It was suspension. Okay, it didn't go anywhere. There was a stalemate. His nomination just didn't go forward. That's what I was seeing. And, if it did, there would be some kind of judicial impeachment. Either way, he's not going to be sitting on the Supreme Court. Strength. Okay, they're showing the strength. Okay, these swinging senators, these senators who are likely to swing. They've been working hard behind the scenes. They very much are concerned with the legacy that this might lead or leave. The High Priestess, of course, is secrets being revealed. They've already been revealed in terms of Kavanaugh. I think we know more in the media than the FBI background reports are going to say. They're showing strength. Okay, this reading's not about the Republicans. This is about the senators, regardless of whether they're Republican or Democrat. This is bipartisanship here. Okay, the Six of Swords. There's a forced moving on. There's a forced transition. Okay, so they feel they have no choice. They not no choice. They do have a choice, but they're in a unwinnable position. Okay, and they have to. They feel they almost have to not take this nomination forward. And here we are. They're in a double bind really, because again this balancing the forces upon them, and they're making time to make a compromise and make a decision. Okay, so the compromise is not to follow the party lines and to diverge from that. So I'm actually seeing this is where it's at the moment. Of course, we've got a day or so until they actually vote. So this reading is concerning where we are at the moment. This seems to be that they are considering not voting for his nomination. The nomination will be suspended, but it's like a necessary. They don't really feel they have any choice. They feel like they have to do this. They have to be in this situation. But it is very much a double bind for them because they're actually going to have to go against their own party. So this is where we are today or tonight with the senators who are likely to swing outside of their party line. and it seems to me they're working together. Okay, they're all working together at this point in time to try and to bring strength into the situation and to balance the options. But there is definitely throughout this reading delay, and of course the hangman being suspension, nothing moving forward. And the Four of Cups is, something being taken away, which is disappointment, in other words, because disappointment is the forerunner to apathy. So it seems to me like there'll be disappointment there for Kavanaugh, because this is the card I keep getting associated with his nomination. Yeah, okay. So it will be interesting because it seems to me that the FBI background check sets up this whole, choices, providing the choices for them, which will be interesting. Will really be interesting. I hope that we get to have a look at that report. I don't know whether we will or whether we just get verbal, from the senators on it. Whether it remains under lock and key, I'm not sure, but it seems to me that it will set up, and I'm happy to say it will provide the senators who are likely to swing, with choices. It will provide them with choices to go forward. It'll throw it back to them, but it'll throw it back to them in a way that allows them to, vote according to their conscience. So it will be interesting. So that's the latest update as of tonight. Hope you enjoyed the readings. Thank you.